I need some black joy. The fact that black joy even exists as a concept in the world is miraculous to me. Asians are no good at joy. We are good at working hard and being diligent and doing our best, but not joy. Colonizers too. Rich lives, no joy. We should never have hooked our stars to theirs. But black people, especially black Americans, are the best at joy. You've turned it into an art form. I know it came from terrible hardship that you've turned into soul and then into joy. And we, Chinese people, we just turn that hardship into more hard work. But I know you can't give it to us. We have to go out and earn it for ourselves just like you did. Joy is a puzzle for every human being, and it's not free. When I ask my black friends where their joy comes from, they inevitably shake their heads and just repeat, "You can't let them take it away from you." That's what it's not. But what is black joy? Can you tell me?
Greetings everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. And if it's the first time that you're coming across my content, I will kindly request that you hit the like, subscribe and share button. And to my returning subscribers, I'll also like to thank you and still encourage you to interact with this video through liking, commenting and sharing. Well, in today's episode we'll be talking about black joy. As the term suggests, this is a very interesting topic usually related to the black community, and kindly I will request that you watch the rest of this video as I come with my commentaries at the end of it.
Y'all, the shift has finally hit the fan. People are waking up and realizing that something is missing, something that is necessary, something that is needed. A little bit of almond joy, a little bit of nougat crunch, Hershey's bar, Reese's cup. They're realizing that they need chocolate. So the ones that have distanced themselves from us, they're waking up and realizing, hold on, that we've always been the magic, the black magic, y'all. What the helly? The veil is really lifting, y'all.
I miss black people. I know that sounds crazy, but I am from Georgia and I used to go to HBCU and the majority of my friends were black, and now I live in a small town in California and I miss black people. There's not very many here and I hate it. Like, don't get me wrong, I love my job, I love my friends here, but I miss black people. Don't come for me. I miss the culture, I miss the vibe, I miss the confidence, the jokes, the food. I miss black people. Something's missing in my life and I've come to the conclusion that that's what.
Where I'm from in Pennsylvania, it's mainly Dominicans and Puerto Ricans and the Spanish community, and bless their souls, are great people. They brought great culture and all that. But they always would mess up my beard. The first thing that we do is they would hack it off. I don't like my beard to be short, and they would always end up making it short on me no matter what I told them. And it would always be a language barrier too. And then, because of the way my beard grows, I would try to explain to them that you can't make it even, you have to make it look even because of the way that it grows, and they would never do that. And then today, I decided to give another barber a chance. After years, I came to a black-owned barber shop. And I'm just saying, I think I found a barber.
See, this is exactly what we tried to tell y'all for the past 400 years, but nobody didn't want to hear us. You know what I'm saying? What did y'all do? Y'all hid our history, y'all lied to us, y'all manipulated us, did some crazy things to us. For the past 400 years, we tried to tell y'all, we tried to show y'all how to live in harmony with nature, how to live in harmony with us. You know what I'm saying? You don't need to work in order to earn a living in this system. That's not how nature works. But y'all didn't want to listen to us. Then you guys took our spirituality, you turned it to religion, you made it evil so we wouldn't be able to use it and wake up out of this spell that majority of our people are locked in currently. But now the shift has literally hit the fan. Our brothers and our sisters are waking up, and now this is the collapse of this three-dimensional system because we don't want to play this game anymore. This is what actually brings me black joy. So yes, y'all, my brothers and sisters, the shift is here, but I want you to realize everywhere you go, I want you to know that you are someone's almond joy, okay? The shift is here. Everybody's going through it. They see it. They feel it. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
I'm here to tell you right now, We don't care. We don't care.
All right, racists, let's talk about your distaste for black joy. Racist America fumes at the sight of happiness, especially when that person smiling is black. It's as if this country specializes in anger Olympics. Being a little too happy disturbs the patriotism. 3 or more laughs in one place is like being investigated by a mall cop. I'm gonna need to see some ID. Because deep down, they believe that pain is the only state that black indigenous people are allowed to live in. Black people start laughing too loud at their cousin's cookout. They throw on some Frankie Beverly. They start dancing with their auntie in a sundress while the ribs are sizzling. Instantly, their lives are in danger. It's like watching a perfect example of a case study on people who have a problem with control. It's like their obsession isn't just with control, it's like with the optics of it as well. They want to be seen as dominant in the space, because they seem to disappear when there is black joy. When you throw your graduation cap in the air, surrounded by your entire family in matching t-shirts, they don't see achievement, they see defiance. Because in their minds, success was never black people's storyline. The truth is, black joy is a glitch in the racist lies that they feed themselves. They built a whole myth of superiority that only works if you're miserable, delusional, insecure, jealous, and mediocre. When black people shift the world with their joy and laughter, the racist's entire self-image starts to crack. This is why racists gatekeep golf courses, ban urban dress codes, side-eye loud laughter, and call the cops when the music's just a little too bassy. The unnecessary hate and determination to ruin black people's happiness is a disease, a brain-eating amoeba that siphons the cognition out of America's privileged society. And what hurts the most is that happiness and black joy is more infectious.
I think white people are so triggered by black joy because they have zero control over it. And white people are all about control. And anything they don't get to control and manage and dictate freaks them the hell out.
They don't get to be the leader.
They can't stand to see people getting their value from within. Like, you know how many white people have asked why are like, they've literally, I've seen it in the comments, I've seen it in videos of white people saying, black people, like, how do you get your joy? Like, how are you so happy? Like, why, like we know that we've oppressed you for all this time. How do you still stand up and smile and dance? Like, they want us, and that's not to say that they want us to, well, some of them certainly want us to, like, not be happy. But even the ones who do not actively try to make sure we're not happy, they feel like we should be unhappy. And so they ask, why are you so happy? And that's because they themselves have been trained and brought up to think that their happiness comes from external validation. Y'all, that is what it is. Because white culture, white American culture is very consumerist. It is very, you get your value from having the biggest house. You get your value from having the hottest husband and the prettiest woman. You get your value from having the most, the highest paying job. You get your value from having the highest net worth. That is literally how a lot of white Americans define their value, is if I have this external indicator that everyone else can see that says I am worthy. The higher that number on the stock ticker for them, that is the higher their value. And and when that is where your value comes from, you will always look at people who are poor or people who have no money and be like, why are you smiling? And it's just like, because my value does not come from some artificial number on a board that someone else made up. Like, what? That is crazy. But another thing is, when you have the mentality of my value comes from things outside of me, you have the mentality that everyone else has that same mentality. And so so then it becomes a whole lot of projection. It becomes a whole lot of projection of, like, I would be insecure if I were in your place, so why aren't you insecure? Like, it's just like, so the projection starts, and it's like, and that makes them mad as well, because they just expect you to think like them, and it's like, absolutely not. Hustle culture is one of the external validation traps. It sure is. And that goes into, y'all don't let me get on my history bucks. Because the Black Panthers, y'all, they were very anti-capitalism, very communist, pro-everyone working.
I've come to the conclusion that a lot of white people are irritated by black joy. I was thinking about when Kamala was running for president, Vice President Kamala Harris was running for president, and the Republicans made so much of her laughter. It obviously agitated them so much that she was joyful and would laugh, that it was like they wanted to put out her light. And I've had a few instances that I've mentioned. One just yesterday, again, with some black girlfriends at dinner, out enjoying ourselves, laughing, not loud, but joyful, having great conversation. And this woman behind us had such a scowl. She could not enjoy her own meal because she was so fixated on us. And I know that last time I've mentioned stuff like this, white women, would say, or black, people would come in my comments and say, oh, y'all would just be acting inappropriately. That's why they were looking, which we weren't, because of course always the blame has to be on us. And it's not far-fetched to be truthful about your resentment of other people's joy. And because you can't grow unless you're truthful about what you need to work on. I remember being in stores and out and about and seeing white kids running around and acting in a way that, would have gotten me in trouble when I was a child. And I felt resentful because I felt like they had the freedom to do it. And I was so strict with my 2 young black boys because, I believe there's a pressure in the United States for black people to behave a certain way or we get called out very quickly, particularly black boys. And I always would correct them when we were in public, when they were acting like kids, frankly. I never wanted my kids to be seen as bad. And so I resented the freedom that white kids had to just be wild. I still thought they were kind of bad, but the fact that they had the freedom, I resented that, right? I don't know why white people resent it. And that's something that they need to investigate. But I do believe greatly that a lot of white people are annoyed, agitated, resentful of black joy. So I think that white people should work on that. I'm serious. Work with a therapist, do some personal deep diving and figure out why it agitates you. Is it our freedom? Is it jealousy? What is it? And then for black people, my directive would be have more joy. Agitate the fuck out of people. Joy is your right. You deserve it. And what I think is incredible is that we are able to find joy often in spite of. Keep on being happy. Keep on finding moments of joy. Enjoy each other. Smile and laugh. Laugh so much that people have to talk about it, like they did with Vice President Harris.
They say revolution looks like protest and pain, but the most radical thing I've ever witnessed is black joy. Because in a world built to break spirits, to watch a people still dance, still laugh, still create beauty out of grief, well, that's power. Black joy is not denial, it's defiance. It's history remembering itself and still choosing to sing. They couldn't silence the drum, so the rhythm lived on in the body. They couldn't steal the light, so the smile became the sun. They couldn't chain the spirit, so it found freedom in laughter. Black joy is healing disguised as happiness, a frequency strong enough to lift the room. It's culture as medicine, art as resilience, faith as resistance. And when you really see it, not as entertainment, but as endurance, you start to understand why America's healing depends on it. Because when black joy rises, the vibration of the world rises with it. And that's why I say black joy is revolutionary, not just for those who live it, but for every soul awakened by its light.
They told us to keep our hearts light as a feather. But how are we supposed to do that when the weight of life is just too heavy? When the weight of rent, when the weight of racism, when the raw reality of everyday life is just too heavy? How are you supposed to keep your heart light as a feather? Because I think it's important to understand that light is not just the absence of heaviness. Light is also the presence of divine frequency. When you don't have that heaviness of the weight of the world, you are in your divine frequency. How when your grandmother is humming or singing when she's cooking in the kitchen, how your kids get to laughing and giggling when they're running around playing. In that moment, their heart is light as a feather. In that moment, they are in their divine frequency. And that's where we should strive to be. Because they don't want us there. They want us heavy. They want our hearts heavy. They want us trapped in our thoughts. They want us stuck in our fears. They want us worried and stressing about credit scores, court dates, climate change. They even want us worried that one day our dreams will never come true. Either way, they just want us worried. But let me tell you, listen, we were not meant to pay bills forever. The melanated body was never meant to be a beast of burden for America, which was built on stolen land anyway. We are not the tools or products of capitalism. What we are is so much more than that. You are not just black. Your physical body is literally made of stardust. What you are in the non-physical is literally an infinitely expanding consciousness. You are a walking library of galaxies. You are coded with the frequencies of Nile-born gods and cosmic griots. You were not made just to be a worker for their system. You want to ascend? You got to remember. You got to remember that Ma'at is not just a myth. She was the law of balance, the sacred scale between rage and radiance. And your heart is her altar. So I ask you, what is weighing you down? What bitterness have you accepted as your personality? What grief have you hoarded as your birthright? You see, the colonizer's greatest weapon was not the gun. It was the lie that God lived up in the sky somewhere, and that peace was earned through suffering, and that somehow joy was a sin. But our ancestors knew better, and they laughed around the fires while the chains clanked in the distance. They sang code into hymns and turned plantations into portals. They bent physics with drum beats, and they made joy a rebellion. And you see, America don't want you to know that. The system depends on your depression. It feeds on your anxiety like a vampire, because it knows that if your heart ever gets light again, then you'll rise above their matrix like smoke from sacred sage. So let it go. Let go of the illusion that control is safety. Let go of the narrative that trauma is your whole story. You gotta let go and let God. And no, not some old white man in a cloud, but the God that is you. The I am pulsing in your bloodstream. The sacred fractal of the Most High that exists within you. That sacred fractal of the Most High that is disguised in your smile, your swagger, even your survival. So yes, the world is on fire. Oceans are swallowing cities. The skies are coughing up dust and spitting out rainstorms. Everybody knows the economy is a scam, and America ain't nothing but a crumbling theme park with broken rides and a haunted mascot. But here's the thing. The universe has always known chaos before creation. And you were born now for a reason. Not to suffer, but to transmute. To turn sorrow into song. To turn fear into flight. To turn this broken world into a blooming garden with your vibration. So keep your heart light. Not because life is light, but because you refuse to let the heaviness of life dim you. You have to laugh like your soul still remembers the language of the stars. You have to dance like your melanin is made of solar panels. You have to rest like your spirit knows that the war is already won. Because when you keep your frequency high, the demons can't reach you. Their curses just bounce off you. And their chaos becomes background noise. And you become untouchable. And you become divine. You become free. So when they ask you, why are you smiling while the world ends? You got to look them dead in the eye and say, because I am the beginning. Because I remember who I am. Because my heart is light. And that's enough to fly.
Black fatigue, no, it's not black fatigue what got them all up in the uproar. It's not black fatigue, it's what they're tired of. It's not black fatigue. You see, they got you fooled and they got you tricked, thinking it's black fatigue. They tricked and got you thinking it's because of things we do. But let me break it down to you and elaborate. It's not black fatigue. It's something about us they cannot control. You know what that is? It's black joy. Our happiness. They cannot control it. They cannot do nothing about it. Regardless of everything that we have been through. That's one thing they have never been able to take away from us. What our elders and we always say, baby, don't let them take your joy. Don't let them take your smile. Don't let them take that from you. They can take everything from you except for your joy. I have happiness, I have peace, and I have joy. And that's something they hate more than anything. Like, they hate to see us happy, regardless of whatever they have done to us. Every atrocity, even the child slavery, when our ancestors was in those cotton fields, when they was in those Tabasco fields, when they was in those sugarcane plantations, they sung songs. They sung songs that was joy. Regardless of what, we found a way to make joy and peace of everything. And also, remember the story that when the Grinch who stole Christmas, and when the Grinch went down in the village and took everything from the village people. The Grinch took everything. And at the top of the mountain, what did the Grinch hear? He heard him down there singing, I took everything from them. Why come they're happy? Why come they're happy? How come they're happy? How can they sing? How can they dance? And they don't understand through all that pain we've created. Hip-hop, blues, jazz, R&B, bluegrass, country. We've created a whole culture from our pain that everyone copies to this day. And when they say black fatigue, let me tell you what fatigue is. I'm a little dyslexic, so don't judge me. An extreme sense of tiredness and lack of energy that can infiltrate with a person's usual daily activities. That's what fatigue is. It's our joy that tires them out. Because you know why? They can't control it. And think about this. Anytime that we have a cookout and we're having a good old time, if we laugh too loud, if we scream too loud, party too loud, they call them the good old boys. Let us go to a graduation. And one of us graduate. Oh, you know we there. And we're not supposed to have that type of joy of achievements. They don't like that. So, you know what? Give them plenty of more black joy to add to their black fatigue. Remember, it ain't the black fatigue they tired of. It's the black joy. Remember, never let them take your smile. Do never let them take your joy. Remember that. We got this.
Black joy is being black, unapologetically black, and doing everything anyway, how you like it, with whoever.
Black joy means being unapologetically black in the most comfortable way that you feel like yourself. You don't feel like anybody's judging you. It doesn't matter whether you're like straight, bi, queer, however you want to dress, it's comfortable.
Living out my ancestors' dreams and like fully showing up as myself, my black ass self, because she's very black. Okay. Doing the things that fill me up and like unapologetically.
Yes.
Confident, unapologetically black, living in our truth, and just being our amazing self.
No matter what.
No matter what.
No band can stop us.
Living in my greatness. That's really what it is. Living in my ancestors' greatness. It's just being me all day, every day without criticism.
Black joy to me is revolution. It is healing, and I think it's the path forward for us.
Hey y'all, so I'm about to get my writing session started. Still have to get the book done by the end of the summer, but I wanted to remind y'all that black joy is black resistance. Yes. So the system doesn't just thrive on battering black bodies, but it really thrives on battering our spirits, right? So don't let them do that to us. Still play your music, you can still laugh, you can still dance in the name of resistance. I know it might sound counterintuitive, but part of what white supremacy hopes to do is not only to take our lives, but to take our lives, if that makes sense.
Blaze of black joy is actually very dangerous. That's something we have to learn at a very young age. Black boys and black girls have to lose their innocence so quick. You don't believe me? I'm pretty sure there's been things in your life that are happening when you were just minding your own black ass business. I get that a lot because I work out outside from neighbors and some skin folk that's not really kinfolk. That's what it means to live in America. How dangerous it is to have displays of black joy.
This is Black Renaissance Part 2. Congratulations, Jamal Roberts, winning American Idol. We have the Met Gala. Can't forget the Met Gala. The theme was Black Dandyism. Black Joy All 2025. I love this. We got Forever, the hot new show on Netflix. Everybody watching, talking about it. We got, now this one isn't Black American, but it still makes me happy. We got Ibrahim Traore out there in Burkina Faso, holding it down for the whole Black diaspora. Black Joy 2025 is in this brother. I love him. The trailer for Ironheart just dropped. Ironheart, they mad about it already. The show ain't even came out yet, but that sister looks so cute. I can't wait to watch it. If you got any more examples of the Black Renaissance that we haven't, I'm looking for art. I already talked about the sister in Times Square, the statue in Times Square. I'm looking for thought leaders like Mark Lamont Hill. I'm looking for literature, books that are coming out right now that are celebrating Blackness. It's a Black Renaissance. Let's come up with more examples.
Black joy is resistance. Here's something that schools don't teach. That black joy is resistance. When the world is expecting you to be angry, tired, struggling, your laughter, your creativity, your dancing, your thriving, that's power. That resistance is when joy says, you didn't break me. It's survival and rebellion all rolled into one. So let me ask you this. What does black joy look like to you? Drop your comments below. Tell me what that black joy look like. I need to hear it.
Well, for beginners, black joy is a term used to describe the expression and affirmation of happiness, pride, creativity, and resilience within the black community. As we all know, the black community has been for quite some time now on the rough edge of history. With going back to time, we understand the black community, most of the individuals are descendants of the former slaves who were brought into the United States as slave who worked in the cotton fields from Africa. And this dark history or this dark past has been hanging upon Americans, the black Americans, from generation to generation. And this is usually accompanied by the constant discrimination, racism, and systemic challenges that this community has faced over time. And we are seeing that the black Americans are still thriving in the United States despite of these dark past or these challenges that they are facing. And in the middle of this, all the chaos, the discrimination, the racism, and all the other challenges that this community that has always been oppressed since time immemorial, it's becoming quite surprising that these individuals are still thriving, and also they are still gaining joy or happiness in the process. And this has come as a shocker, especially to most white Americans, as they are asking questions as to why the black Americans are still being able to find joy despite of all the hardship and the challenges that they have gone through or they are currently going through as a community. Well, this is where things get interesting. Black joy. You see, for most individuals, they usually believe that once a community is oppressed, they don't need to be happy. They don't need to show the happiness or to show the world that they are doing fine. You see, with the dark history that most black Americans faced, it would be plausible to assume that these individuals will not appear to be happy or will not appear to be satisfied with their situation, and they would mostly appear to be gloomy or feeling oppressed and everything. Despite of the fact that, yes, these are feelings or emotions that exist, we understand that these individuals, again, have come out to disapprove the world. With black joy, this is not only a form of expression, it is a form of resistance and growth amid the challenges that this community has faced. And as you've watched in the previous clips that I've shared, you notice that most people, not only the white Americans, also the Asians, are quite confused about how the black Americans are being able to have joy despite of the fact that they have been oppressed, or they have so many things in life to disturb them or to make them worried. As to them, this is becoming a foreign concept. And for the white Americans, having in mind that they are the ones who brought the ancestors of the current descendants of black Americans into the country as slaves, they are becoming worried, or they are becoming confused as to why these individuals, despite of all the oppressions that they've gone through, they are still able to express joy, become happy, and also celebrate their life in forms and ways that these individuals themselves cannot comprehend or experience. Well, from the clips again, I hope by now, if you've watched the rest of this video, understand that black joy is also being expressed in various forms. And one of the ways that is being expressed by most of the black Americans is through the performances. You can see that in the expressive art, that is through music, dances, the social gatherings, and through the supporting of one another, like, for example, supporting black businesses in the community, and also through celebrating days dedicated to their history, like the Carnival and Juneteenth, whereby you get to see most black Americans come out in full glare and glamour to celebrate their culture, history, and origin. And compared to other communities, it's only the black community that usually comes out on top, as they are very expressive and also creative in celebrating the originality and history, despite of the fact that it is marred with a dark past of suppression, discrimination, and systemic racism. Other than that, for the black joy, you understand that this is a time whereby you get to see the black individuals actually coming out to be there for each other. As you all know, hate can only prosper in a community in a time whereby there is no unity among the individuals who are being oppressed. But with the black joy, we are seeing that black individuals usually forgo or abandon all these differences that have been set to put them apart, and come together to support and help each other, therefore becoming a healing process for all the pain and displeasure that they have experienced from generation to generation. And so black joy again is a form of, it's a healing process for the black Americans, and this is becoming incomprehensible for the white individuals, as due to the fact that they have all these monetary wealth and everything, they're still not able to experience the spiritual and cultural wealth that most African individuals have. And in most cases, again, as you've watched in this video, you'll see that most of these white individuals will try as much as they can to be part of this black joy, or to be part of this African tradition, only as a way of trying to reconnect with the Africans, or as a way of trying to also try and get to experience this form of joy, which is totally absent in them, as they don't have that unifying pain that brings them together and initiate that bonding and unity that can only be experienced by people who have been persecuted, discriminated, and systematically disadvantaged for centuries, hence making it become a totally foreign concept to them. Well, and I believe, again, from watching the video, you already have the concept about what basically black joy is, and I've done my best to try and explain it, and I really hope that you've gotten to enjoy it. Well, this marks the end of this episode once again. Thank you once again, and see you in the next one.